Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me, except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Maps come with me. No. When do we start?
It's that time of the week again. Time to listen to us talk about things. Comics and TV and
you
movies.
need to plan your week better, apparently.
Yeah.
Or maybe you made the right play by being here tonight, or tomorrow, whenever you're listening to this show.
Maybe you're falling asleep to it. Maybe it
The
lulls
soothing-
you. Docile tones.
We don't want to be like sleep-inducing. We want to be entertaining and informative and exciting.
You don't have a smooth jazz radio voice?
Good evening and welcome to the Smooth Jazz Radio Hour. I am no John Tesh.
I can't, or I could, but there's no point in it. I don't listen to the show like at regular speed. I listen to it at like 1.7 speed when I'm editing, so we sound like chipmunks.
Ludicrous speed. Remember the NBA on NBC theme?
Mm-hmm.
You know who wrote that?
No, I guess not.
John Tesh.
Weird.
You know who John Tesh is, right? Yeah.
What a weird fact that is.
Yeah.
Good for him. He got paid a lot, I bet.
It's called Round Ball Rock. I mean, he probably could retire on that. That was like, you knew when that music was on, the Bulls were on TV. That's what that was. That was the
NBA
Bulls
on
theme.
NBC.
With Marv Albert. Are you enjoying the first full taste of fall here? It's kind of chilly at night. Have you turned your heat on yet?
No, not yet.
I refuse to turn my heat on.
I did take the air conditioner out of the window. I'm like, yeah.
That's probably a safe play at this
I'm
point.
done with you. Look, we're not getting a hurricane, so we don't need to talk about the weather.
Well, peace and blessings to those in the way of the hurricane.
and
Good luck.
if you want something to do, download our show.
So, like, you're saying, there's a hurricane coming, but really, you should listen to our show.
I'm saying that once you're safe or on your way to safety, these are things you can do. Escape and listen. You can double task.
I guess you could. Are they really? They're going from like out of the frying pan into the fire, though. By, we're gonna escape a Category 5 hurricane, but we're gonna do it listening to Jared and Zach.
Let's do this.
That's rough.
I don't think we've ever done a show like this, so we're gonna plow into it, find out what happens in an experiment.
Is it well? Okay. Remember, our track record for experiments is about 50-50
I think this one could work.
at best.
But let's start off the way we do for every show and get into the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
The Oscars are back in the news, even though it's not Oscar season.
Yeah. Didn't they get rid of the most popular picture Oscar?
Yeah, they said they were going to be reconsidering it and pushing it back, which seems like a smart idea.
Here, let me make this simple. Reconsider it and don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, especially this year, and this isn't, I'm not going to claim credit for this joke. I'm like, well, when you put it like that, like the year that everyone's expecting Black Panther to get a Best Picture nod, maybe don't do it the year and create another Oscar that's separate but equal.
Yeah, that's
Not my joke, but I thought it.
Did you just make? Was it a Jim Crow Oscar joke? That's what that was.
I suppose.
Well, that's what the Jim Crow laws were.
Yeah, but it wasn't my thing. But when they said it like that, I'm like, yeah, bad year to try that one out.
I mean, why can't Black Panther be a Best Picture nominee? Why can't it get Best Picture?
Those CGI rhinos looked a little wonky.
Oh, okay. I guess you got that.
Those magical vibranium balls that will do everything from fix a spine to fix a city
Yeah, but I
to
think
stall a car.
it should get some Oscar nominations though. I think there's a
Oh,
lot of good things in it.
definitely.
I bet maybe Best Original Song.
Yeah, I bet the soundtrack will get a nod. Definitely production design will get a nod. Hopefully it gets
Sound editing.
Best adapted screyplay. I bet it will get.
Yeah,
Who cares about sound editing?
it's an Oscar. It would be the first Marvel movie to win an Oscar, wouldn't it?
They've won like some of the technical awards, I'm sure.
I'll fact check the
They
show
don't
here.
They've definitely won technical awards that don't matter.
At the Oscars.
Yeah. But yeah, probably a good idea to push that back. Or don't do it. The Swamp Thing show that's going to be on the DC Universe app that I'm not going to buy because I'm not going to pay for another streaming service. Sorry. But they keep on almost getting me. Because Swamp Thing, and this is the way it was put, is going to be hard R.
Really?
Yeah, we get to bring it back. Haven't said hard R in a while. And it's going to be a practical suit.
Even better.
I'm Mucky Man. Did you ever see those old Swamp Thing movies? One of them was Wes Craven.
No, I was thinking of Toxic Avenger there for a second.
No, that one has to be the hard R. They run over a child's head
Ugh.
with a car.
Ah,
I think they replaced it with the watermelon, so it just goes like, and you don't know anything about Swamp Thing.
no.
That's fine. You will when Halloween comes.
That's just around the corner.
Maybe I have a Swamp Thing episode planned.
Ooh, I like it.
No, you will. I mean, not the movie. That's a bad one that maybe we'll never do.
From my quick 30-second research, it looks like Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Avengers, Iron Man 3, Captain America Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 all nominated, no winners.
Oh, interesting. I would have thought someone would have won a
No
technical
winners.
Oscar.
No, they're all sound editing, visual effects, makeup and hairstyling, visual effects for Doctor Strange, visual effects for Guardians of the Galaxy, but no wins.
Between Avengers and Black Panther, I'd be surprised if no one got something.
Yeah, they should get something at some point.
Brie Larson tweeted this week to Entertainment Weekly if they wanted to break the internet tomorrow. This happened like right after we finished the show. I'm like, damn it.
I almost called you and said, should we just go for it?
I thought it was going to be a trailer.
I was hoping for a trailer too, but nope, no trailer.
It wasn't. Instead, we got a bunch of images of Captain Marvel.
I'm not disappointed.
I like where they're going. I especially might as well start with the man himself, Sam Jackson.
He looks Pulp Fiction young. Got a nice little scar over his eye or some stitches.
Hair.
Hair?
He doesn't have hair.
No,
He
yeah.
doesn't have Jules' hair.
No, he doesn't have the Jerry curls.
It's like his Jurassic Park hair.
Similar, but he had kind of the younger, rounder. It was like Mace Windu with hair almost.
I mean, it's just a still, but I thought it was a good looking still. If you showed me that picture, I wouldn't say that's a de-aged man.
No, it looks like Samuel L. Jackson. What do you think of the Skrulls?
I'm not big on them, but I understand what they're going for. The Skrulls in the books have they basically look like Thanos, but with pointy ears. So I get wanting to mix them up a little bit, so it's not just like, are those little Thanoses?
Didn't you tweet something about
Thani?
their hats? Like they didn't have any hats and they were supposed to have hats?
That wasn't me.
Oh,
I haven't made any hat tweets, I don't think.
I thought you made a hat tweet.
I might have at some point.
Oh,
I'm not checking my Twitter.
I'm not going to bother. That's not as important.
So a lot of people were making fun of the image of the Skrulls, though, because it looks so weird of like these four like stoic creatures just walking out of the water. It's like, oh look, it's the new Creed album.
Ooh, wow.
Stuff like that.
Dang, that's harsh.
I didn't think that
I would
was
listen to a new Creed album, though. I'm not ashamed to say that.
I know you would. That's a weird thing.
No, it's not weird.
Show of hands, who likes Creed? Oh, good. One person.
Kirby raised his paw. Good job, Kirby.
I'm counting our listeners in that poll.
I
One
bet several
person.
people did raise their hand. What's wrong with Creed?
To be honest, I haven't listened to them in years.
Exactly. If you immediately cannot say Creed is terrible because of, then listen, are they for everybody? No. Are they like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana, Cutting Edge awesome? No, but they're fun in their own right. I totally would have gone to a Creed concert in the day.
They're probably one of those bands that just tours endlessly, but no one
I
knows
don't think
about
they're
it.
touring currently.
All right. I thought you were like, because they're all dead. I'm like, oh, I never knew.
No, they have a second band called Alter Bridge, which is everybody but the lead singer, Scott Stapp. I think Scott Weiland is the singer.
You know a lot about Creed.
I was a big Creed fan back in the day.
I always mix them up with Nickelback. I'm like, which one is it? Which one did that?
One's
one?
Canadian, one's from Florida.
Either way, build the wall.
Wow.
Around Florida first.
Yikes. I don't know how to react or what to say to that. That's terrible. Come on. Creed isn't that bad.
Maybe I'll listen to some Creed this week. Just kidding, I won't. But,
If I gave you $5, would you listen to some Creed?
yes.
See, exactly.
I'm a cheap date.
You really are.
But yeah, so the Captain Marvel images. Then we got the suit. First full official image of the suit. People were complaining about the on-set photos, like, oh, it looks too kind of like loosey-goosey. But they pin that stuff back for what they're shooting, like from certain angles to like tighten it up. And also they touch it up digitally.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think it looks good the way it is.
looks fine.
And since this is the first female-led superhero movie, I think there's only one thing we have to talk about. How hot is she?
No, you don't have to talk. Okay, A, that totally is no, that the values it. And B, it's not the first superhero-led.
Or for Marvel.
Yeah, exactly, because he had Wonder Woman. Listen, if that's what you're looking for, you're dumb.
In my defense,
Yeah, what do you mean? No, there is no. It's
no,
an indefensible
Hey.
position.
yes, it is, because you were with me, so you can confirm this. We saw Thor the Dark World together, and I left that movie, and the first thing I said was, I'm annoyed that he keeps getting prettier.
Then he got a haircut.
I am equal opportunity.
Yes, that
But
notwithstanding.
I don't. That wasn't my reaction to it, but I think the suit looks really good.
No, it looks like a good Marvel superhero suit. I'm curious to see.
I haven't seen
How
it
they
in
play
a
it
ton of
out.
stuff. I
I
never
liked-
saw The Room.
I like the Nirvana grunge look they had going on there with
course.
the cut jeans and the flannel shirt. I'm all in on that.
Yeah, I think
I would.
she definitely looks the role, and I like having her be like with the Kree, and like we'll see when like the betrayal happens of some sort, and when Samuel L. Jackson definitely loses an eye.
Who else was in that? There was
Jude Law,
Jude Law. I'm interested to see how he does in
who
this.
it may or may not be Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay.
I hate character names that have a hyphen or an apostrophe because you're never quite sure how to pronounce them. Like if someone says a name out loud, you're a little more comfortable with it. Like Marvel, I hate doing because I always feel like I'm pausing. Marvel.
Different than Shazam.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I never really, until I started doing the show with you and learned these things about comics, in the first Spider-Man movie, when he goes, Shazam,
Yep.
I finally understand the
yes,
reference.
Billy Batson.
Yes,
Transformers,
I get the reference. Yeah.
I think my least favorite one is there's a character who's mostly in X-Men books, but it's a team called the Starjammers. They're in space, but there's a character whose name's like Odd. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Whenever I read it, I just go Chode. Got it.
Guy gets picked on all the time. He doesn't need you to come after him like that.
I don't. When I'm reading a book, I'm like, I don't like pausing and going Odd.
What about
So I just call him Chode.
what was like Chayod or Sha'od?
It's
Cal L is hyphenated. You don't go Cal L.
Yeah, I'd rather just
It'd
call
just
him
be
Superman.
Shod.
CH''OD.
Could be Cod.
I just call him Chode.
Whatever.
I stand by it.
You would. You can't call a man that. That's terrible.
It's neat seeing Ronan, and we see that Korath from the Guardians of the movies apparently started off as good, but something will happen to him, I'm sure, in this movie that will make him evil.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so Jude Law not confirmed as Mar-Vell, but he's probably Mar-Vell.
Well, he is wearing a suit at one point.
Just the Kree stuff. They're all wearing Kree stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it looked really good. I like how much the suit pops color-wise. It could just be the lighting for the photo, but I really like the way it kind of popped, and I like the color scheme that they're just going all for it.
Yes.
Speaking of Marvel, which is a good chunk of this show, Avengers 4 is going back for reshoots, but not regular reshoots. I thought these were kind of funny ones. This isn't just like, this isn't working, we need to kind of fix this, like trim here, add there. They just didn't finish filming the movie yet.
Oh, okay.
So a big part of these reshoots are just, we're not done, so we just got to go back and fix them. But Dave Bautista has also hinted that this might have something to do with him as well.
Ah.
Because he's also flat out said, I don't know if I want to work for Disney anymore. Like, he's not been coy.
Maybe it's like a re-edit of the ending where Drax actually like kills Thanos but dies in the process.
I'd always wanted to see Drax be the one to get him.
Gets to be with his family. That'd be kind of a nice little finish to his character arc. We're not going to be that lucky, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people still freak out about reshoots. Like, that's literally every movie.
Yeah.
And especially a movie like this where they filmed it so far ahead of time. They have the time to do reshoots. They don't need to be compared to, like, Justice League, which started filming, like, the weekend Batman v Superman came out, and they had to do an immediate course correction. It's not like that.
Yeah, you think they would have, like, given it some time in between the start of the shooting and the previous movie so you could kind of get a feel for what the climate was around the movie, how people reacted to it, what they liked. Maybe that's just me.
And I'm sorry to say, our weekly segment, What's Up with Bendis, will not be happening this week.
What?
He was at a con over the weekend. He didn't do anything. He did a panel.
Did he say anything at the panel?
I don't know. No news came out of it, so I'm going to say no.
Well, we kind of just gabbed about Bendis without gabbing about Bendis.
It didn't get the theme, though. So from there, I guess it's just comic book news time. Speaking of the Guardians of the Galaxy, one of them is going to die in this current Infinity series. And one of the main ones, like one of the ones you know from the movies. And my immediate reaction was,
Drax?
Yeah, is Disney so pissed at Bautista they're going to also kill off a fictional character that he does?
We are going to be so vindictive.
Yeah, I don't know. That was honestly my first thought.
Mickey Mouse levels of vindictive.
You don't mess with the mouse.
No, you don't.
Or Ike Perlmutter. I mean, that's the thing. If you have someone from the top, they could just say, yeah, get rid of this character because we don't like him right now. It could happen.
Just done. Goodbye.
And one of the more interesting ones that I saw this week is that Dave Gibbons, the co-creator / artist for Watchmen, is sorry for all of the misery in comics that he feels that book created.
Do you think it created misery?
Yeah, that was his word, misery. He was mostly talking about like the darker tone that comics took. It's at 50% Watchmen. There was literally at the exact same time Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen were coming out. It was like this big 1-2 punch. They're smash hits. Everyone wants that. So yes, the industry 100% pivoted with that. But yeah, he's like, yeah. The thing is like if me and Alan Moore were going to do a second book, but then there was this whole falling out with DC thing, that they were going to do like a Shazam book and do something like super light and happy, but that just never happened.
Can you picture Alan Moore doing something light and happy?
Yeah, he's done some lighter stuff. He's done some really weird stuff and some dark stuff. Mostly dark, but yeah. And I guess this is good news because like DC is banking on this working, because why wouldn't you? Always bet money on Grant. Grant Morrison is already writing Green Lantern Season 2, he's calling it, which I like the idea of breaking things up, taking a break, and then getting back into them. I don't think that's a bad format for comics.
What about TV? Like that mid-season finale and the...
I don't even think that. An issue I think with just monthly titles is they're monthly titles. It doesn't matter if you have a good idea or not, you just gotta pump it out. And I like the idea of seasons of like, I have this story, I'm gonna build it, we're gonna take a little break, and then we're gonna do a different one. I think I think if comics changed to that format, I think that would be a positive.
More and more bingeable, maybe.
I don't think it would have changed the format of them because you'll still be writing for trade, so you'll still have like 6 or 12 issues, but just giving people a little bit of a break and that you don't have to have every character out there constantly being pumped out and allowing writers to have more time to think with their ideas and build them. And even giving artists some time to work ahead of schedule, because a lot of times with most artists can't pump out a book a month. It depends on the artist. Some can, some can't. The majority can't. So every X number of issues, you'll have a fill-in artist just so the artist can spend that extra month catching up on something and getting ahead. So I don't know. I like the idea of seasons. I think it's a cool idea. But from short news week, New York Comic Con is coming up, so people are kind of like San Diego, are sitting on a lot of stuff, which I don't mind because like it's going to be a weird old week and I kind of want to get into it. But someone else is having a big week. It's Jared Sports Reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
Are we talking about how Tom Brady and the Patriots won their first game of the season?
Whatever. I mean, just...
What do you mean someone else is having a big week? I think you were trying to like...
It was just a big week because football was back.
Oh, yeah, baby. Football is back. The NFL's back, baby. There were some really
I tried
good...
to just hype you up into it. You're like,
Well, no, because I was trying to figure out where you were going because there were like two major sports news stories. Like the NFL's back. Actually, it's like really the only major sports news story. And then like a couple like quote unquote not so major, but kind of major stories. So we'll start with the NFL. The NFL back in full swing. Of course, the Patriots won their season opener against the Houston Texans in an okay showing. Not the best fourth quarter effort against the Texans, but I think the Texans are a pretty strong club. Aaron Rodgers got hurt in the first half of the Sunday night game, then came back to have
nasty.
Oh yeah, his knee buckling.
He had like a 240-man fall on him.
A 240 man?
A 240-year-old man. Yes.
Wow.
It was very tiny, man. Wayfish.
240 pounds is it's a lot of weight coming at your knee, but they don't know exactly what the injury is. I've heard a lot of people speculate it was an MCL sprain or strain, perhaps, but he's able to play in the second half and a spectacular comeback. I'm sure that really excited people in your household.
Yeah, my wife's a Packers fan, so we watched.
She must have gone like through the stages of like, oh, poor Aaron, he's hurt.
Yeah,
and then he came back and.
Well, what's funny is she went and took a shower like when the third quarter started. Was just yelling. I'm like, it got good. You're missing the important stuff.
I actually, to my everlasting shame, I went to bed.
So did my wife. I finished it. I'm like, if I made it this far, I'm just gonna keep going.
You watched a football game on your own?
Like half the fourth quarter.
Wow, look at you.
Well, it's because it was on the iPad, so she like just had her eyes closed, wasn't really sleeping. She's like, "Who has it now?"
Did you understand like what was going on?
I know how football works.
Were you entertained?
The second half, the first half sucked.
Well, if you were a Bears fan, the first half was phenomenal
because they got that defensive trade that was really good.
Yeah, Khalil Mack from the Oakland Raiders. He was savage. He almost single-handedly beat my fantasy team this week. But don't worry, the East Westchester North Stars prevailed in the end.
Yeah, I mean, she's a Packers fan, so we can only watch so many games. So catch them when you can.
There's 16 games.
Well, I'm saying what we can watch.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Because you're not going to pay for like NFL Sunday Ticket or anything like that.
No.
Red Sox closing in on 100 wins. That's also quite exciting. They haven't won 100 games since back when Ted Williams was playing. So that would be a huge milestone. They're kind of a little bump in the road, but as of late, but they're chugging along. The magic number is in the low teens to clinch the division. So that's a plus. So they wouldn't have to play in the play-in game. They just go right to the divisional series. And then, of course, I know you want to talk about this, but Jabari Bird in trouble with the law.
I want to talk about it. Jabari Bird, the most press coverage he's ever gotten, and it's for such a positive thing.
Yeah, he allegedly kidnapped and restrained somebody and choked them.
Yeah.
But he was also in the hospital too, so that's kind of...
Yeah, he can't make his court date because he's still hospitalized.
Probably because he got beat back.
No, there's nothing out there.
Nothing out there?
It's all just domestic violence charges.
Not a good look.
No. I wonder what's in his contract, because he had a 2-year contract. His first season was last season. Most people have never heard of it.
His last season was also last season, probably.
Yeah, he was a guy who came out in the third or fourth, late third quarter, late fourth quarter, late in the season. No one really knows who he is. He had some promise, but just why would you gamble with that? It's like, this was your rookie season and this is how we're going out. Like, no, let's call it a day.
Yeah.
Which would be, I'll be curious what happens, but that would be my guess.
Yes. Also, Hurricane Florence is starting to have an impact. I haven't seen any of the updated things. I know some college football games in the Carolinas in that area have been already postponed. I'm not sure if Carolina was supposed to be, the Panthers are supposed to be home or not. No, they were home last weekend, so I don't think they're home again this weekend. But like Carolina, Tennessee, Charlotte, that area there, all under the gun here of Hurricane Florence. So that will most definitely have an impact on some of the sports in that area. Very similar to how Hurricane Harvey affected things in Texas. So it's, obviously sports are secondary, but that's kind of newsworthy that it's affecting the sporting world down there in the southeastern United States.
So now that football has begun,
Yes.
who do you think is going to make it to the Super Bowl this year?
Well, I think the Patriots have got to be in the discussion, not just because I'm a Patriots fan, but because of just how they continue to operate and are so consistent. Yeah, New York looked pretty impressive against Detroit. The Jets did. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, this is news. The Cleveland Browns didn't lose.
Browns, yeah.
No, they tied. I don't remember
And those
what the
beer
stat was. If it
coolers
was
didn't open.
no, they didn't. I was
That's
joking
for
that
a win.
they would open it wasn't technically a loss. I was like, they're going to open part way and someone's going to reach in and they could almost grab the beer.
I don't think we even talked about
Not
that.
quite. Yeah, we talked about the beer
Did we?
coolers, I
Okay.
think. Yeah. It's a very Cleveland thing to have. But Pittsburgh wasn't super inspiring, but I think Cleveland's just come along that much better. I thought New Orleans might be a team from the NFC. I don't know. The Eagles didn't look overwhelmingly impressive. Green Bay could be tough depending on how Aaron Rodgers is, but I don't know. Somebody wants to see a Patriots-Packers Super Bowl, but a lot of people think it could be a Patriots-Saints Super Bowl, and the winning quarterback will probably retire because Drew Brees has been around the league. I think if Tom Brady, if they go all the way and they win, I think he probably retires this year.
I thought he had a 2-year.
So what if he does? It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But I mean, an opportunity to go out on the top. I mean, a lot of people thought after his comeback win against the Falcons, that would have been the ideal time to say, you know what? I can't top this. It's over. It's done.
And those are your wishy-washy predictions.
Those are my wishy-washy predictions. Yes.
I wanted to hear us solve these two teams.
Okay. Patriots, Saints. Boom.
There we go.
Also, the East West Chester North Stars, they won in week 1 of my fantasy league.
Thank God.
Yes. Against Beer and Loathing.
Great.
It's not even the best team name in the league. Do you want to know what the best team name in the league is?
Sure.
Turd Down and Schlong.
From there, this is where things get wild, freaky and wild and free. This week, instead of a normal Jared's Reading Corner,
Is it ever a normal Jared's Reading Corner?
I didn't trust him to read this much because it took a little while. So, because it would take a modicum of effort, I did all the reading. So, welcome to
Zach's Reading Corner?
Zach's. Zach's.
Reading Corner.
So, a few months ago, James Cameron, Jim Cams, if you will.
Oh, the same James Cameron who brought us True Lies?
Don't know why that was your go-to movie.
I was trying to think of like a bad James Cameron movie that I could have hit up. True Lies isn't bad.
What was his first movie? Was atrocious. I forget what it was.
Oh, the same
There's
James Cameron that brought you Avatar, the same James Cameron that brought you Titanic.
Yeah, I'm not a Titanic fan.
You're not?
No,
Why not?
Too long, and I don't care.
I think it was a marvel. It won 11 Oscars, dude.
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
No, but you have to appreciate that it was an amazing piece of cinematic work.
Not for me.
Whatever.
But speaking of
They rebuilt the whole freaking Titanic for the most part.
things that wouldn't be for me. Oh wait, I forgot where I was going with this. So James Cameron a few months ago, Jim Cams, said some disparaging things about Wonder Woman multiple times and also the superhero genre as a whole. Well, Jim Cams, not dropping it. At one point, he was attached to write and direct Spider-Man. Spider-Man in the early 90s, early throughout the 90s, was passed around from studio to studio. No one could crack it. It just kept on getting passed and passed and passed. And one of those people that passed it, and boy, he passed hard all over it, was James Cameron. And he wrote originally, instead of writing a script or a treatment, he wrote what he called a scriptment, which is mostly a treatment with some dialogue worked in.
Okay.
And for your listening pleasure, and you have to react to this because otherwise it's just me talking,
All right.
I give you a weird summary of James Cameron's scriptment for Spider-Man. Oh, keeping in mind, he wanted to cast Leonardo DiCaprio as Spider-Man.
I could buy that.
Yeah, this has been like mid-90s, so you could roll with that.
Yeah.
And casting that I really liked, Arlie Ermy as J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, that would have been phenomenal.
I'm also never going to talk about him in this because he really doesn't add anything to the plot.
I loved Arlie Ermy.
Yeah, he would have been a good Jameson. I could see that.
He would have been perfect. You little maggots.
Oh, you think that's language? Sir. Oh, we're just getting started.
I was trying to steer clear of the heavy hard R Full Metal Jacket.
Well,
Have you ever
this
seen the
script
boys?
didn't.
Have you ever seen the Boys of Company C?
No.
That was Arlie Ermey's first movie. Very similar to Full Metal Jacket, but it follows the true life story of the boys in Company C. Really, really good, actually. Really, really good. Although he said afterwards it was more scripted, and he was able to really kind of give more of a flavor. Like
Full Metal Jacket was just him. Kubrick let him go.
yeah, like he would spend hours with Kubrick, and he would just record it, and they would pick out the juiciest pieces of dialogue. He said this. He had some dialogue, and he still had some good lines in it.
So Spider-Man.
Can I just say my favorite line from Boys and Company C? He's like, "You people must have set some kind of new record here today because you've effed these weapons over so bad they may never fire properly again."
Our movie opens up with a young Spider-Man, 17-year-old Peter Parker.
Okay.
You could tell right from the character description that James Cameron, Jim Cams, really respects him by saying, "Who is this wacko?" Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
And Spider-Man will act as our occasional framing device, a real occasional narration. Doesn't come up a lot. And we flash back to see Peter Parker. He has a superiority complex, but he's needy, and he's also a virgin. Really dig heavily into the whole he's a virgin thing. Wildly unlikable.
Why do we have to harp on the fact that he's a virgin?
Oh, we'll get there.
Over 50% of high school students have not been sexually active, like have not had sex. It's not like he'd be in the minority by being a virgin. Come on, Jimmy Cam, know your stats.
So he's in biology class, and he sees Mary Jane across the way. It's towards the end of the school year, and he's been watching her all along like a weirdo.
Okay, so he's a normal teenage boy checking out a good-looking girl.
Oh, yeah, because what he does with her is normal. Get ready.
Oh, boy.
They have to do a science project with the partner, so she comes to him because she needs to get an A because apparently she can't pass science if she only has a B.
Must be one of them honors students.
Yes, but she's also dating Flash Thompson, who's very jealous of her talking with Peter and just kind of a jerk in general.
How does Peter threaten Flash in any way, shape, or form?
Shouldn't. Peter that night, like the nerd he is.
That just tells me that Flash is in a controlling relationship with Mary Jane.
I have a lot of sympathy for Flash in this script. You'll see why.
Okay.
Peter that night goes...
Am I doing a good job of interjecting?
Do what you want.
I am.
Peter goes to a seminar that night at a college that he wants to attend. It's the...
Oh, you mean an open house?
It said seminar.
So he goes to a seminar? What is it, like a night class?
No, just a seminar. He's listening in, and the whole, he gets bit.
So he's sneaking into classes.
The whole he gets bit by the spider scene happens. Don't need to explain it. You've seen it in a couple of movies now.
Okay.
He goes home, but the way this one's different is he starts convulsing, having seizures, and then it's this weird 5-minute psychedelic scene of him having hallucinations and weird spider dreams of David Lynchian body horror, spiders climbing over psychedelic mountains.
Weren't there a little bit of that in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man when he lays down, he's having the shivers, and you get the flashes of the skull over him?
This is supposed to be full blown.
Okay, a 5-minute montage of...
He wakes up in the morning, upside down in his underwear, over some part of the city. He has to sneak back in, goes to school, and then he goes
Weird.
Oh, no.
He's not Batman, he's Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, you want to find out
Why is he
Spider-Man?
hanging upside down? That's Bruce Wayne's shtick.
The second night that he wakes up from Spider-Man, and I am really not over-exaggerating
Okay.
with this, he wakes up to a white sticky substance in his bed that is pinning him down. And then when he starts to free himself and play with it a little bit, he shoots himself in the face with it.
Listen, it's perfectly normal for
What
most
is
teenage
the-
boys to have things like this happen to them.
The movie was doing okay until this point, but that's the scene I'm like, nope.
Are you pretty much telling me that he had nocturnal web missions?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Well, again, as a young man learning his body's changes, it's perfectly normal.
There's a montage of him learning how to use his powers. And he finishes off.
So what you're telling me is this Spider-Man, he does not construct the actual web shooter he's like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. It emanates from his body.
Yeah, but what's really weird about that is he feels like he thinks that's the thing that will make people think that he's freaky. So he builds fake web shooters so people think that it's coming from a mechanical bit on his wrist versus just from inside of him. It's a weird story point.
Also, it always kind of boggled me, in how in the Sam Raimi movies he was able to shoot the web through his costume.
He's a spider. It should come from his butt.
Secondly, and more importantly, but he has the full suit on, so when he goes to shoot the web, wouldn't it get caught up in the suit? There's no little hole for it to come out
I'm sure
of.
he made a hole.
Anyway,
After learning how to use his powers, it's another night, and he goes to Mary Jane's house, where he watches her undress from afar, or from right outside her window, really, so not that far, and then is just so befuddled and aroused that he falls into the bushes. I guess it's the Animal House scene with the ladder.
okay, but here's my... I don't want to say it's overly far-fetched because it sounds kind of pig-headed. But in the Sam Raimi movie, like, Mary Jane's window is right across from Peter's. You'd mean to tell me that Spider-Man, that Peter Parker, never, like, peeked across the alleyway?
It wasn't part of the movie, so we don't know.
No, but one can infer. I mean, think about this, okay? And answer honestly. If you had a window that looked into the window of an attractive female when you were a young man, you would find ways to try and peek through, would you not?
I lived in the woods.
You're not. You're like deflecting because you're embarrassed to say that you probably would try and peek.
I can't be embarrassed about a thing that never happened.
I'm saying if you were, I was making a hypothetical, Zachary.
Well, hypothetically, we would have been lovers forever and gotten married at 18.
Oh, wow. Not messing around.
Me and this fictional girl, we're getting settled.
You and your hypothetical bullshit.
For some reason, Peter starts working for money. They don't seem to really need it. They do say that he comes from...
Okay, well, that's what you people work for. They work to make a living.
Yeah, but he's a 17-year-old high school student.
Did you not have a job in high school?
Yeah, but I didn't work as a street performer pulling a fishnet over my face.
No, you worked as a amateur mime in the woods for the woodland creatures.
Fishnets. He pulls fishnets over his face.
There are worse things.
Because they're supposed to be like webbing, I guess. And he starts doing private parties and like 3 a.m. TV appearances. And that's when we meet one of our villains, Carlton Strand. Sound familiar?
Nope.
He shouldn't because he's not a character. He's kind of Electro, but he's not really Electro.
It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie.
He is described as Trump, but bigger. In what sense, I don't know.
Like Howard Hughes big or like Yokozuna big? Like Kingpin big?
He has such fun lines like, real power is not force, but an information, then force.
That's not, I mean, I've heard worse dialogue.
It's a dumb line.
It's not a smart line, but I mean, I've heard worse. I've heard better, but I've heard worse.
A woman, Cordelia, enters and goes to Strand. He says, I must say, my dear, you look very usable tonight.
Woof.
It turns out that she's wearing a wetsuit because he's electric and he can't touch anyone for very long. So conducting and whatnot. So she says no. So instead he says yes, pulls her in, grabs her forcefully, one could say, pulls her in, just kiss him. They let you do it, but he kills her when he does it.
Shocking.
Yes. But then he can resuscitate her with his electric powers and she's like, I don't know if I can do this much longer.
That's a real strange fetish.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know, like a wetsuit doesn't seem like, maybe like more of a rubberized suit.
It said wetsuit.
That would get uncomfortable because like the sweat and the perspiration would get, there are plenty of fish in the sea, Cordelia.
Cordelia.
Whoever you are, lady, there are plenty of fish in the sea, and this Electro guy, overrated.
Oh, they never say Electro.
Or whatever the hell his name is.
Strand?
More like I need to be ranned out of here. No, not working.
Back in high school, Peter decides to do a spider project for their science thing with Mary Jane, but she's grossed out at it.
So wait, where's Flash?
We're getting to Flash.
So like Peter and Mary Jane get connected to be lab partners?
Flash has an argument with her after class and slaps her. Peter gets his fishnets.
Oh, Peter.
Because Flash is rich and popular, he has a Porsche. So Peter approaches him in his fishnet costume, beats Flash nearly to death, rips a signpost out of the ground, and destroys his Porsche.
Peter's kind of a dink.
Says that he needs to stay away from Mary Jane. Oh, he's very unlikable. We get a few more days of school. He spies on her some more through a window. Normal, as you do.
Nocturnal web missions?
No more of those come up, thankfully.
Okay, good. I'm glad he's able. With great power comes great responsibility. We know this.
At his variety TV show, his 3 a.m. thing, Cordelia approaches him, gives him a note saying, "You're not the only one. Meet us at this location." And then
Peter has a variety show on TV?
Yeah, he went from his street performing to variety television.
Oh, you skipped over that part.
I said it. You just weren't listening.
I feel like you glossed over it. You really didn't emphasize the fact that he was on like local cable TV.
And then he's approached by Boyd, who's Sandman. They at least call him Sandman in this, who grabs him and beats him up. And he's like, yeah, come meet us later. I'm like, he probably would have done it with just the card.
Yeah.
He didn't just beat him up. He also goes along with it later on. He's like, that man beat me up.
What?
I'm going to this meeting.
Why would I go to that meeting if somebody like came up to me and punched me and said, listen, meet me here later. There's more where this came from. You know where I'm not going? Wherever he is. That is dumb. Peter deserves to get his ass kicked. Well, like seriously, if you were some random guy and you came up to me and you decked me in the face and said, meet me over here. There's more where that came from. I am
No.
totally going in the opposite direction, never to find you again.
He then goes to get his checks cashed for his appearances, but a sleazy bookie won't do it because Spider-Man doesn't have ID.
So he's dressed up as Spider-Man in fishnets.
Yeah.
Is his face covered at least? Do we know that?
Yeah, he's improved the costume slightly, but there's still a weird fishnet thing going on.
You know.
He's then
He
upset
feels
about this.
sassy.
And we get the Uncle Ben death scene. We all know how this goes. Seen it before.
So now he becomes...
Except, oh no, except
Oh boy.
Peter.
Does Uncle Ben rise from the dead?
No.
Does he fall in a Lazarus pit?
Peter catches the killer and brings him to a police car, jumps down, webs him to the car, says, "This is the killer." And they go, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "This is Uncle Ben's killer and I expect," or he says Ben Parker's, "This is Ben Parker's killer and I demand justice." It's like, you just gave us a bloody man and tied him to the hood of our car. Like, we need to bring you into the police station. So they handcuff him and he's going along with it for a second, but then he freaks out, breaks the handcuffs, and beats the hell out of the two cops. The next day, he's going around the city and finds two other cops who are beating up a man to stop the police brutality. He then beats up those two cops. So now he's
Why
a
can't
wanted
we all
criminal.
just get along?
That's how the Uncle Ben scene goes. Beat up some cops.
So he's so devastated by the death of Uncle Ben, he immediately engages in assaulting officers of the law.
4 of them in 2 days.
And he wonders why people don't like Spider-Man, why he's considered to be a rogue vigilante.
J. Jonah Jameson has a TV show, and he's been talking about how Spider-Man is a menace. And to be fair,
He is.
yeah, he's kind of a menace. He's
Also,
beating up
why
cops.
is J. Jonah Jameson on TV and not a newspaper?
I
It's
don't
the 90s. Print wasn't dead yet.
In school, in their project, Mary Jane says that she likes Spider-Man, but on her way home from school, she's attacked because, she's Mary Jane. And
'Cause
Spider-Man
she ends up
rescues
in all the
her.
wrong places.
And thank God that he rescues her so gallantly, because he then says to the 3 guys he beats to near unconsciousness, in quotes, "If you worthless chunks of vomit show your faces around here again, I'll decorate my Christmas tree with your intestines." Got it?
Wow. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, worthless pieces of vomit.
Worthless chunks of vomit.
Chunks. Ooh, no, nobody likes chunky vomit.
Isn't
I
Spider?
prefer more of a smooth, like watery vomit myself.
Isn't he a fun guy? Doesn't he just bring a lot to the table? You
I'm
just
gonna-
cheer for this hero.
You just imagine like Aunt May comes over for Christmas. Oh, Peter, what a lovely. Oh my God, what's on your tree? Are those entrails of ugly chunks of vomit? My Lord, Peter.
He then kisses Mary Jane through the mask and leaves to go to his meeting with Strand at his mansion. Why? Why any of this?
More importantly, why would you want to decorate a Christmas tree with intestines? It's very blatant at this point. James Cameron's like, I really don't want to do this movie, but I just want the paycheck.
Oh no, because there's other drafts of this. This is just stage 1. I wanted to go with the pure Cameron vision because there's another writer on the second draft.
Dear Lord.
I also didn't want to read a second draft. I'm like, I read enough.
Yeah, I've heard enough.
Spider-Man goes to Strand's mansion where he says that we should team up because we are the special few, trying to bring him over to the dark side. And then
That
the
sounds a
thing
lot like the Green Goblin roof scene.
that pushes him over the edge. Well, the Green Goblin didn't go, "You can have this girl Cordelia whenever you want."
I think they may have sweetened the honey pot a little bit for Peter there.
And then he's like, "I won't do that kind of thing. I'm a moral virgin who just beats up cops and cars and people nearly to death on a regular basis."
Yeah, so I'm going to break all these laws, but you're going to offer me this concubine, and that's really my hard no point.
They fight, he escapes, his costume is ruined in the process. And then this is a real part of the movie too, because Spider-Man is now so popular in the city of New York.
Why? Because he beats up cops?
Apparently.
Decorates his crisp. He's got entrails and heads on pikes outside of his apartment.
He buys a new Spider-Man costume in a costume store because now they're just producing Spider-Man costumes. He's like, "Oh, it's in my size." And that's where he gets his second Spider-Man costume.
Well, that's dumb.
He's also fighting crime at the same time. He's mostly beating people up. At one point, Aunt May is sick. So he beats up some crack dealers and he sees $50,000 lying on the table. And he goes, "Should I take this?"
You mean to tell me all this is happening over the course of a 2.5-hour movie?
He then steals the money, but decides that that's going
Also,
too
now he's
far
committed larceny.
and drops it all over a poor neighborhood. After this, and I needed to get my phone for this one,
Oh, God.
because I
This
needed
is
to take some screen grabs. I'm going to read the script directly. Because as I said, this is mostly treatment with some...
some dialogue written
Yeah.
in.
He goes and he gets Mary Jane, and he brings her up to the Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh, good for him. Oh, I see where this is going. It sucks to be Mary Jane. But isn't it Gwen Stacy who dies off the Brooklyn Bridge?
No, Peter got her. He went to Spider-Man. He's like, "Do you trust me?" She's like, "Yeah." So then he swung her up to the Brooklyn Bridge.
No, but like in the comics, doesn't Gwen die off the Brooklyn Bridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scene direction. She stands with her back against a girder, needing to feel something solid. Spider-Man stands before her.
No.
A perfectly formed male silhouette with a soothing low voice. Spider-Man. Courtship among spiders is highly ritualized.
No.
It varies from species to species.
Why?
The male spider may circle the female or wave his front legs as a signal that he is not prey. Spider-Man moves the hypnotic arm around.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
He raises.
Can he swing from a web?
No, hang on. Listen to this line.
I don't want to listen
Scripter.
anymore. This is where the experiment goes bad.
He raises his hands in a dance-like movement, lowers them. The female usually signals her willingness by being uncharacteristically passive.
At which point, Mary Jane hurls herself off the Brooklyn Bridge.
MJ takes a deep breath. Her lip trembles. Her knees are weak. Her eyes, though, are steady, gazing at the silhouette before her.
What is this?
She doesn't move to
Is this
speak.
Harlequin Spider-Man?
He moves closer. Spider-Man. In certain crab spiders, such as the one I can't pronounce, the male will attach strands of silk to the female, tying her limbs.
This is arachnid bullshit right here. This is horrible.
Spider-Man moves his hand gracefully across her, and she sees silk webbing glinting in the moonlight. First one
Are we
wrist,
sure it's silk webbing?
then the other.
If he's a virgin, are we sure it's silk webbing at this point?
Hypnotic movement in the moonlight. Her arms are bound to the wall. Her breathing gets more rapid.
To the wall. They're on top of the freaking Brooklyn Bridge. There is no wall up there.
Spider-Man. Since the female can break free at any time, the bonds only have a symbolic signifier.
Where is she going? She's on top of the friggin' Brooklyn Bridge.
Mary Jane finally gets a line. The male must be very bold to take such liberties with the predatory female.
What is this?
Hard to imagine why this movie didn't get made.
I can think of a couple of reasons. This one being on the top of the list right now. You're awfully bold for reading this to my predatory ears.
Spider-Man. Yes, he is very bold, but he must also trust her. He moves very close. Close your eyes.
Remember that part about the chunks of vomit we talked about earlier?
He removes his mask and kisses her. Their mouths very slowly and sensuously devour each other. I'm almost done.
What devouring? You're reading a smut novel. This is Spider-Man fan porn fiction. This is not real. This cannot be real.
It's real. This is Jim Camps. Peter and MJ are locked together. He is mesmerizing, gentle, powerful. He pushes up her skirt. They make love high above the world. She doesn't look. What the hell is that? This movie sucks. This movie that never happened really sucks.
I would rather we see him putting the entrails of the bad guy around his Christmas tree at this point.
We're almost there.
Oh, he does do that?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Boyd, a.k.a. Sandman, sees Spider-Man and Mary Jane a lot together. He goes, aha, I found out his main squeeze.
He squeezed her all right.
So he tells Strand they kidnap Mary Jane. Peter finds sand in Mary Jane's bedroom, assumes that it's from Sandman. So he goes to Strand, and there's a VCR saying that you need to go to the World Trade Center or I'll kill her. He goes to the World Trade Center. Strand is like, join me or I'll kiss her to death.
Does he start singing, think twice before you touch my girl, come around, come around?
That song wasn't out yet.
Oh, maybe it would have come out for that song, for that movie.
Strand, he's like, oh, we can take over the world together. And Peter's like, nah. So Strand kisses Mary Jane to death. And Spider-Man...
What? Wait a minute.
The way that he was kissing Cordelia and killing her and reviving her.
Oh, I thought you said the Sandman at this point.
Oh, no.
What did he fill her up with sand?
Electro.
Oh, okay.
So then...
Shocking.
Spider-Man's reaction. This is right out of the script. I'll kill you, motherfucker! This is a movie where Spider-Man says motherfucker.
The mouth on him. I'm going to have to wash it out with my fist. Throwback to last week in Super Pro.
Strand revives her. Spider-Man quickly webs her, dives out of a window at the World Trade Center together. And
last time he webbed her, it got real graphic.
And do you know that famous scene from Empire Strikes Back where Han is going into carbonite and Leia goes, I love you?
I know.
He says, yeah. Well, this one, Mary Jane goes, I love you. And he says, cool. What an iconic scene that would have been. Cool.
I would have loved to see that, Tobey Maguire angry face. I'm going to kill you, mother...
Look, the movie's just about done. They fight. Both villains die.
Wow. Spider-Man goes on a killing spree.
Spider-Man reveals his identity to Mary Jane because apparently when he took off his mask before, she didn't know it was him.
See, Spider-Man's having sex with you and you're going to close your eyes? Lights on or lights off?
And then For good measure, he beats up Flash one more time. The end.
Does he say, I'm going to kill you, motherfucker, before he goes after Flash?
Oh my god. What a terrible... Everything about this movie is wrong. Spider-Man is unlikable. Uncle Ben dies halfway through it. He doesn't really react like positively to Uncle Ben's death.
Apparently
he doesn't
not.
learn anything from it.
There's a lot of things going on.
He learns that I'll do what I want, I'll take what I want, and I'll get it no matter what.
That is...
This is atrocious.
It's not good.
And James Cameron doesn't like superhero movies.
Apparently not. This was not a superhero movie. This is a super whoa movie.
Ugh. And I'll never have to think about this again. That's the nice thing.
Yes. Now I kind of want to... I kind of wish we could have seen that movie.
I
Yeah.
want to go to that alternate universe where this movie happened.
Yeah.
There is another version of the script out there, which the reason I didn't even try and tackle is it just immediately opens differently. Like, Doc Ock is in his lab. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Wow, that really took a change. Like, instead of like, here's Peter Parker, 17-year-old virgin.
Who is this wacko?
Doc Ock is in his lab. That's a little more enticing, I think. Doc Ock in his lab.
That one, it had been revised. They'd done some work on it. This is just pure Cameron.
I can't think of any time that like someone like goes with the MF-er in a movie like that. I think of the movie Hard to Kill with Steven Seagal.
This treatment is shockingly bad.
It's not good.
I can't believe that he spent money to get the rights to this, to do something like that. Can't imagine why it never saw the screen.
I can't imagine how it never got past pre-production or into pre-production, really.
I'm so glad it, yeah. Don't go read it, because it takes longer than what I just did, so you're welcome, I guess.
Thank you.
Go read the second draft and see if it's better. I personally won't.
Man, I'm glad that you had to read it and me. I didn't, because I would have given up.
I told you it was going to be a weird one.
It's super weird.
So that was our experiment, reading a treatment from a movie that never saw the light of day.
Thank God.
But I'm kind of sad didn't.
No, that's okay.
So after all that, I sure am looking forward to Avatar 2 through 6.
Will they have like Avatar spider sex?
I love the part where it's just like he lifts his arms up and moves them around.
And a dance-like move. That's awfully bold of you. His kiss devours her.
Amazingly terrible. But I guess let's move on from... there's no real moving on from this.
There is. There's nowhere to go but up. To letters to the editors.
Now for my favorite part of the show. What did I say? Talk to the audience. Oh, God, this is always dead.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Hey, The Predator's a movie that's coming out.
Damn right.
Maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
No, I don't know.
But here's the question that was asked. With Predator coming out, what is the best cinematic alien?
So you have to like quantify. Are you talking about like what's the best alien for like fear? What's the most intriguing alien? Because I think one of like the coolest cinematic aliens is E.T. It's such an interesting... I like the character E.T. I like that being lost, away from home and that whole aspect of connecting to a foreign world. That's why I like E.T. But I think if I'm going to interpret the question as like, what's the most badass alien?
It's just the best. You could say E.T. He doesn't seem like the best, though. He just seems like an overused sponge that sits in a basket.
There's also, the xenomorph is pretty cool. Like
but which one?
The Queen.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Yes.
Such a great line.
Yeah. The Predator is kind of a cool alien.
Do you know what I like about the Predator so much?
What?
Is that he's this alien that like has this code of honor and will only fight you if you have a weapon. But if he loses, he just blows up. He's like, I'm a sore loser.
Yeah. Got me. Boom.
I had a code of honor until now. Blowing you up.
I mean, you can also look like other aliens like Ewoks. I know you like Ewoks.
Help
quantify what you mean.
It wasn't my question.
Well, no,
what's the best movie alien?
Frame it a little bit. You give who's your best movie alien?
I mean, you could say Chewbacca. He's an alien.
Chewbacca, sure.
You could say Yoda. Get out of there. I mean, you could say that Spock is a movie alien.
Yeah, so maybe like movie aliens that visit Earth.
You could say.
See, that's just a damn broad question.
So you can say whatever you want. Honestly, it might just because it's on my mind, I might say the Predator because I like the design.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he's a sore loser.
What about Frank the Pug from Men in Black? He's an alien.
He is an alien. He's fun.
He's fun. The worms from Men in Black. Some of the aliens in Men in Black are pretty cool.
Michael Jackson.
Sylvester Stallone.
true. Has Stallone ever fought an alien?
He was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, he didn't do it, but yeah, I guess the character would have.
Mantis is a cool alien.
Has Stallone ever? I can't think of him ever fighting an alien.
Ivan Drago.
Trying to think of, because Dredd doesn't have aliens.
No, Dredd doesn't have aliens.
Oh well.
The coolest movie alien, Worf's pretty cool.
he's been in some movies. He counts.
And TV. I'm trying to look at the movie wall now.
Superman.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, he'd be an alien. Zool. Oh, Zool's not an alien.
Or an interdimensional thing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Space whales from Star Trek 4.
No, they were regular whales that they just had to go and get.
Definitely not the god from Star Trek 5.
No.
Oh, God, need with a spaceship.
It's a good question.
Gun to my head, I'm picking the Predator.
Yeah, I gotta lean Predator, but to be different, I'll say the Queen Xenomorph.
She's right up there.
She's pretty badass.
She makes all the little xenomorphs, and they're pretty awful.
Yeah, those are like, that's the alien that's scary. Like those kind of aliens scare. Ooh, you know what else is? Yeah, I mean,
the Martians and Santa Claus versus the Martians,
Ugh.
or Elvira and Plan 9 from Outer Space. I'm getting weird now.
Well, if you're gonna go that route, then you got Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and the transvestites from Transsexual Transylvania. What about the aliens from Signs?
No, they suck.
Because they go to a planet at 75% water, and
that's why they suck.
The aliens from Independence Day.
Welcome to Earth.
Yep, bitch.
Poor Brent Spiner.
I never saw the second.
Neither did I. He's back somehow. I don't care to find out.
Jeff Goldblum is in that. Yeah, everybody except for Will Smith.
Whatever. I'm sticking with Predator. I think he's probably the coolest movie alien.
Yeah, Predator's pretty cool.
OG Predator, I like the original.
Yeah, the original Predator. I'm trying to think of like an alien that like assimilates into the culture.
So, what's that movie where you can see the aliens with the sunglasses? I just came here to.
Oh, those are zombies. That's Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. Oh, what is it? I can't remember the name of it.
It's fine.
Now I need to know.
So I guess we're both saying the Predator.
Now I'm Googling movie aliens, actually.
It's cheating.
It's not cheating. I want to take a look at some like famous movie aliens. Movie aliens just comes up with, let's see, what about movies with aliens probably would be better.
Are you just getting aliens?
Yes.
It's a damn fine movie.
Movies with alien. Oh, it's more alien. The best alien movies, top films about aliens.
The Coneheads. Meg Ryan is
the Coneheads.
My stepmother is an alien. I think that was Meg
Close
Ryan
Encounters of the Third Kind. Oh, The Fifth Element.
Okay.
Lilu. Multipass. District 9. I never saw District 9.
They're fine. They're just bugs.
Stargate?
No idea. My Stargate knowledge is none.
War of the Worlds? What about War of the Worlds?
Good design. I like them.
Spaceballs?
I like the alien in that. He has a top hat.
Cloverfield?
Nah.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Don't know it that well.
Paul?
Okay. He eats birds.
That's all I really got.
All right. That will do it for this week. We'll be back next week with a more traditional show, I suppose.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Do you just want to close out the show?
Yeah, I can close out the show. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't like what you heard, and you feel bad for us,
if you at least found it entertaining,
if whatever floats your boat, please help us out by going to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. $1 a month gets you this show a whole day early, because I know you can't wait. It's like with bated breath. Why wait one day when you don't have to wait a day at all? I don't know if that's a thing, but I just came up with it.
A hurricane area gives you something to do.
I don't think we need their dollar right now. They need our dollar more than we need theirs. $1 a month gets you this show a day early. The Buffy Back Issue Bin, the other show on the network, you get that a whole week early. Plus, you get some other goodies from Zach, write-ups on the top comic releases of the week. That's the $5 level, isn't it?
No, that anyone gets.
Oh, anybody? $5 though, you get to become a Duke or Duchess of the podcast, and our own sound guy will make you a delicious sound clip that will be played here on the show. Anyway, if you want to check out the store in real life,
I feel weird about this whole Spider-Man script.
210 Water Street in Hollowell. You can discuss this with Zach. He can read you soothing sounds from the Spider-Man script.
Never speak of this again, and especially in person.
Anything exciting going on at the shop?
Nope.
Just 210 Water Street in Hollowell. You can also find all of the stuff that you want for Editor's Note Comics on the internet. All the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, that's really what Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, editorsnotecomics.com.
And you're on Twitter.
@JuniorRich.
You'll know when football happens.
Darn right.
He'll tweet about it.
Heck yes. Just remember, my tweets are mine, and they are not tied to anybody else.
Especially the NFL.
Correct.
Because they don't care what you have to say.
Nope.
We'll be back next week with some regular old comic stuff. Until then, go devour a mouth or something.
That's terrible. Why don't you just shush up and I'll close out the show completely. Okay. So next week, regular comic stuff should be a lot of fun. We hope you join us then. Zach needs to go and have a timeout.
Excuse me while I raise my arms and dance. See you then.